used to say we'd buy the part from a supplier because you're saving a nickel, you're saving a dime. Well, when you're billing at $90 to $110 an hour, 30 minutes is a chunk of money. So how we've changed it now, and that's one of the reasons why we purchased the Mighty franchise and started working with Mighty, is Mighty's a stocking program. So we stock the parts for all makes and all models now in our parts department. So when a Chevrolet comes rolling in, our technicians aren't so against working on the Chevrolet because they know they're not going to have to wait for the part. The part is here. And frankly, with the way it's gone to component replacement in our industry, our techs can work on any make, on any model. They're all fairly simple, they're all great cars, and the fact of having the Mighty parts on the shelf where my tech doesn't have to wait 30 minutes has increased our productivity while still having a competitive price for the parts.
That's great, that's great. And what other kind of ancillary benefits do you drive besides just the used car reconditioning?
Well, there's a couple things that come from that. One, if we can stay on the used car issue for a moment, our key is years ago, used cars was a little different business. If I had the one black Acura TL with tan leather that was a 2003 with 50,000 miles, I had the only one. When you came on my lot, I set the price and you paid it. Now, if you want a black, tan, leather, whatever, you can find 50 of them on the internet. They'll tell you where they're all at and they'll give you all the prices. So the key of used cars now is turning them over, selling them as quickly as you can. And our goal is if they're not sold in 60 days, we get rid of them. So you have to get them out of reconditioning faster. And when you're waiting for the parts and waiting for the other items that slow reconditioning down, we've shrunk our gap on mechanical reconditioning from maybe 4 days to a day and a half, so I can get the car to the used car operation quicker, they can sell it faster, put a car in the marketplace. Now, adding to that, you talk about putting a car in the marketplace. Our used cars that we sell now, we encourage them to come back for repair work at our franchise, whether it's our franchise or not. So if you're at a Chrysler store and you buy a Volkswagen, well, we don't want you to go to a Volkswagen store to get it repaired. We want you to come back to our Chrysler store, and we tell you that. We give you a loyalty rewards program to bring it back. We treat it just the same as it's a new car. Because what people forget, a used car to a customer is a new car to them. And it's very important, and we need to treat it that way. So when they come back, I now have the Volkswagen parts on my Chrysler shelf to maintain the car. In today's day and place with the intervals getting longer, we used to do 3,000 mile oil change. Now we're doing 10,000, and I think 20,000 is just around the corner. There's less and less work to do on the cars. Timing belts are being phased out. It's basically filtration, brakes, tires, and fluids. I have to have more cars come in. So having every make and every model on my shelf from Mighty means I want all the cars in your family. In fact, when you come in with your Honda, I'll say, we'll be happy to take care of your Honda, but what does your wife drive? What does your children drive? And they may have a Mazda, a Ford, a Chevy, and a Chrysler. We say, we can do them all right here, and we have the parts in stock. There's no waiting, all makes, all models for all the cars in your family.
How about your technicians? What's been their feedback on this stocking the parts for all makes and models?
It's been a big boon for our technicians. Years ago, and I don't want to tell you how long I started in the business, but I was talking with somebody else earlier today, and they made mention, I worked in an Oldsmobile store years ago, and we'd have an old service department, and a Chevrolet would pull in, made by General Motors. And they say, we need an oil change. We go, we don't work on Chevrolets, and we would point them to where the other Chevrolet store was to go to. One of the reasons why the technicians didn't want to work on them is they can work on anything. I used to tell our guys, come on guys, you say you don't work on a Chevrolet. I said, if I had $400 and I was living next door to you and I had a Chevrolet and I pulled up, I said, you could fix it in your backyard and fix it right. The reality for the techs, and I don't blame them, the reason they didn't want to work on other makes and other models is they had to wait for the parts. Most technicians are paid on production. They're paid on something called flat rate. They get so much time for a job, and if they're waiting 30 minutes for the parts to come in, it's costing them money, it's costing the dealership money. So a smart technician would say, I don't want to work on those. I just want to work on what we have in stock. Well, now that we have the parts in stock, they're not afraid to work on anything. A Chevy rolls in, they know that the parts are going to be there. A Ford rolls in, they know the parts are going to be there. A Chrysler rolls in, the parts are going to be there. And if a Honda rolls in, the parts are going to be there because we have the Honda parts. The neat thing about the program that we talk about, you have your OEM for your OEM customers. Where Mighty comes into play is having all of the other makes and models running parallel with it that allows our technicians to stay productive. If they're you show me a happy technician, I'll show you a productive technician, and our job is to eliminate all the roadblocks that get in their way from that and having the parts on the shelf from Mighty do that.